Stranger Things has finally returned after years of waiting, and Season 5 Volume 1 ends with one of the most intense and surprising finales the series has ever given us. The Duffer Brothers clearly held nothing back. They dug deep into storylines going all the way back to Season 1, flipped long-standing theories upside down, and even brought back a character that most fans had written off years ago. What started as a slow, tension-building season exploded into a finale filled with emotional punches, shocking twists, and setups that change everything we thought we knew about this show. So let's walk through exactly what went down and what the ending really means. The final moments of Volume 1 deliver one of the biggest reveals in the entire series. Will Byers isn't just connected to the Upside Down, he has powers of his own. For years we've watched Will suffer, sense things, and react to creatures in ways nobody else could. Volume 1 confirms what many fans suspected, but the show never openly admitted. Will is essentially a second version of Henry Creel, another child who was touched by the darkness long before he even understood what it meant. But this time, instead of being broken by that connection, Will finally learns to use it. Throughout the season, you see the signs building, the flashes of memory that feel identical to what he experienced in Season 2, the way his body reacts when the hive mind is disturbed, the moment he can literally see from a Demogorgon's perspective, and even the way one creature chooses not to attack Joyce while Will is present, something Mike immediately questions. Every clue was pushing toward the truth that Will wasn't just influenced by the Upside Down, he was part of it. And then comes the moment everything erupts. As the Demogorgons close in and the people he loves are seconds away from being torn apart, Will finally stops hiding the side of himself he's been terrified of. After his conversation with Robin, where she reminds him that true peace only comes when you stop apologizing for who you are, Will reaches the emotional breaking point that unlocks something he didn't know he had. His connection to the hive mind becomes a weapon, and in a shocking moment, he kills the Demogorgons using the exact bone-twisting, body-snapping method Henry used to murder Chrissy and Fred. Will's nose bleeds, his hands shake, and suddenly it becomes undeniable. He has abilities, real ones, and his connection to the Upside Down runs as deep as Vecna's, maybe deeper. Meanwhile, the military storyline takes a massive turn none of us expected. For the first half of Volume 1, we're led to believe the government captured Vecna and have him sealed away using a sound-based containment system. Hopper risks everything to get inside, convinced he's moments away from finally ending Henry's reign of terror. But when Hopper reaches the final chamber, he realizes it wasn't Vecna locked inside at all. It was Callie number 8, the character most fans assumed the show had abandoned for good. Her return is huge, not only because it ties back to Eleven's origins, but because it raises a ton of questions. How did the military find her? Why were they keeping her in the Upside Down? And what were they planning to use her for? Dr. K's earlier line suddenly makes perfect sense. When he asked Hopper, why risk her life for the other? We all thought he was referring to Vecna. But now we understand he was comparing Eleven to another test subject, Callie. Hopper's entire arc this season revolves around him refusing to lose another daughter. He sees Sarah every time Eleven is in danger, and he's willing to die to protect her. But now that Eleven, Callie, and Will all have abilities, and Will might be the strongest, because his power comes straight from the hive mind, the balance of power has completely shifted. Vecna is no longer the unstoppable threat he once was. He's suddenly outnumbered, and he knows it. At the same time, we finally get answers about Max, and why Henry is terrified of the cave system hidden within his memories. After Holly is kidnapped and placed inside the mental recreation of Henry's childhood home, she's warned never to go near the woods. But when she's lured toward the caves, we discover why. Max is trapped inside Henry's looping memories. Because Max died for a few seconds when the fourth gate opened, her consciousness never fully escaped Vecna's grip. Instead, she's been wandering through Henry's past, caught in endless trauma, unable to find a way out. Her journey through the caves reveals something Henry never wanted anyone to know. As a child, he discovered strange scientific equipment hidden deep underground. When he accidentally activated it, he was pulled into the Upside Down for the first time. That moment changed him forever. It exposed him to the Mind Flayer's essence and planted the seeds of the monster he eventually became. And now we understand the deeper truth. Henry avoids the caves in his memory, not because he can't access them, but because the uncorrupted version of his childhood self still exists in that space, blocking him from returning to the moment that created him. It's the one place in his mind where he feels true fear, and Max has now found it. While all of this is happening, Dustin, Nancy, Steve, and Jonathan get a smaller but still important storyline. They head into the Upside Down to track a Demogorgon, hoping it will lead them to Henry, but most of their scenes focus on emotional tension rather than major plot shifts. Steve and Jonathan spend most of their time subtly competing for Nancy's attention. Dustin is still mourning Eddie and becomes frustrated with Steve's lack of sensitivity. Jonathan, meanwhile, gives off the strongest final season death flag in the cast, especially now that he's secretly planning to propose to Nancy. In a show like Stranger Things, that almost always signals tragedy ahead. Even with the long wait, Volume 1 ends up being one of the strongest chapters the series has given us since Season 2. The tone is darker, the emotions heavier, and the stakes far more intense. The Demogorgons are terrifying again, faster, more savage, and absolutely relentless. Their rampage through the military base is one of the most brutal sequences in Stranger Things history. And the emotional layers running beneath everything, Robin helping Will accept himself, Hopper trying to protect Eleven, Karen Wheeler refusing to give up on Holly, all give the season real heart. The performances across the board are exceptional, but three stand out clearly. Millie Bobby Brown gives one of her most vulnerable portrayals of Eleven yet. Noah Schnapp delivers his strongest performance in the entire series, finally putting Will at the center of the story. And Jamie Campbell Bower continues to make Vecna one of the most chilling villains of this generation. His introduction this season is slow, methodical, and worth every minute of build-up. When he finally appears, he feels unstoppable. But the twist is clear: he may not be the final threat. Signs point toward the Mind Flayer still being the larger force behind everything, with Henry acting as its most powerful weapon. And now Will, Eleven, and Kali stand on the other side, ready to challenge him. Volume 1 leaves us with a setup for an explosive showdown. And with the next episodes dropping on Christmas Day, it's clear the final battle for Hawkins and for the Upside Down itself is about to begin.